All right, all right, all right. Third story of the day. Third story of the day. I really love this conversation that will.i.am had with All Hip Hop. will.i.am was down in Atlanta for the Invest Fest. Now, will.i.am is a maven in every definition. Obviously Black Eyed Peas, all of his phenomenal production work that he's done. I think he did an incredible job on the Doctor's Advocate Games album. That song Compton they have is one of my favorite Compton songs ever. So he's wildly talented. He's also incredibly gifted at predicting where technology will go. Beats by Dre headphones, for example, primarily that was will.i.am's idea. will.i.am, Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre, they've had a close relationship forever. And will.i.am told a story before that he went to Jimmy Iovine and said that they needed to get into hardware. And Jimmy Iovine said, well, what does that mean? What do you mean by that? And he said, well, last year when we went on tour, everybody in the crowd was like this. And this year when we went on tour, everybody in the crowd was like this. And they were holding up camera phones, right? And so will.i.am went back to Jimmy, told him that. And that's where the idea for Beats by Dre initially started. That's what sparked that idea. will.i.am ended up getting his own handheld camera. Those were kind of in vogue at that point in time. But he's a partner in Beats by Dre because he started that whole thing. So he's been really good at this. He has an AR comic book, which is a comic book that also has AR interface with it. And he's been doing a lot of crazy, incredible AI work with his app. And so he was down at Invest Fest in Atlanta talking about that, right? And so will.i.am on how AI-powered radio will help hip-hop evolve. will.i.am has a show on Sirius, and his co-host is an AI host, right? So here's essentially what he's saying. He says, the platform which the multi-talented Black Eyed Peas frontman promises will transform the traditional radio experience, blends cutting-edge technology with hip-hop culture, creating a unique intersection between music, AI, and cultural preservation. During the presentation, will.i.am expressed his deep admiration for the dopeness of traditional radio as he detailed how his mission to extend its value through Radio.fyi. So here's a quick clip of will.i.am's presentation. I'm going to play maybe a minute of it. But he says something very important at the end of this conversation that I really want to focus on. But I do want to show his product because I think it's actually kind of cool.
Think of it as building a toolkit for the future, creativity and innovation.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I come from the projects, and a lot of inner cities in America are riddled with problems that governments and powers that be have failed to solve or help us solve. Can AI be the solution for the creative minds that live in these inner cities to once and for all solve these problems themselves? And when these problems are solved, they create the industries of tomorrow that are going to create the jobs of tomorrow?
Yo, that's a real talk, fam. I feel you. The issues in our inner cities are deep and complex, and traditional approaches haven't always hit the mark. But AI has some serious potential to be a game changer. You feel me? Imagine using AI to address real-life problems right where we live. Here's how the creative minds in our communities can leverage AI to drive change and build the future. 1.
You feel me? That's the part of AI that's still weird for me when they start using colloquialisms. But that's the product. He was talking about this at Invest Fest. Now, All Hip Hop interviewed him, and he says something that's, I think, really important for people to remember. One, he was talking about OKPlayer. OKPlayer.com was, as he describes it, the ancestor to social media, right? But that is where you had, truthfully, in those forums, I mean, those forums united global hip hop heads in a way that, most people hadn't experienced, at that point in time. We're talking late 90s, early 2000s. But here's what he says, and he takes it someplace extremely important, so bear with me. bear with me for a second. Let me put you on game. Before there was a Facebook, there was an okplayer.com. In the 90s, when people were trying to figure out the internet, it was okplayer.com. It was okplayer.com. It was before its time. It was social media before social media. And people don't realize that nowadays how important okplayer.com was for hip-hop, soulquarians, neo-soul, conscious rap, backpack rap, whatever you want to call it. It was a movement. Here's the important part. And I think that movement was a threat because shortly after that, hip-hop became prison commercials and another industry was fueled. Privately owned prisons were fueled by the things that we were celebrating, and maybe we were celebrating the wrong things. We forgot about songs like Self-Destruction, the Stop the Violence movement, or We're All in the Same Gang, West Coast All-Stars. Togetherness, unity, each one teach one, lifting each other up like hip-hop's everything. Hip-hop is like fresh soil to plant rich tomorrows for us. Hip-hop is like the blueprint, not just Jay-Z's blueprint, but KRS-One's blueprint. KRS already made an album called Blueprint First. Hip-hop is manifest guru, gangstar. These are the words that I manifest, and we've got to start manifesting these potentials of what we want to be as a collective. You know, I think messages, moments like this are crucial for people to also remember that hip hop is. You know, it is community. It is togetherness. You know, we could get caught up in rap beefs or trending topics or lip gloss brands named Yellow Discharge. But the community aspect of it and the power of hip hop to uplift, to teach, to educate is at the core of this culture in its foundation. And I love the way that will.i.am, you know, brought that to the forefront while he's talking about his products. You know, there's a lot of ways to merge and blend messaging. But when he talks about the movement was a threat because shortly after that, hip-hop became prison commercials and another industry was fueled. Privately owned prisons were fueled by the things that we were celebrating, and maybe we were celebrating the wrong things, right? You know, hip-hop is dynamic, and there's more layers, more facets, more tentacles to this transformative culture than what's happening on the charts or what's happening or which songs are going the most viral. And we all need to remember that because when we put too much influence into certain ideas, analytically, that tells people this is where the investment needs to go. And we have a choice every single day. There's no choice more powerful than where we choose to spend our money and where we choose to devote our time. So I appreciate will.i.am. I thank you for saying these things in this interview. Shout out to all hip hop for conducting that one. Let me know what you guys think. My name is Justin Hunt. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow at The Company Man on everything. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views us radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, y'all, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.